Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of the Elite Podcast. Obviously, you're not seeing an avatar around me this time. We're doing it up close and personal. And we've got two guests with us today. We've got Arani. We've got Flemma. You've met Flemma before, but this is the first time you're meeting Arani. So, Arani, say hello to the guests. Say hello to the audience.
Hello. I'm alive.
All right. Arani is the Elite graphics master, kind of our artist, and a great community manager and helpful with all of with anything that we have to do to make decisions. So a big props for making the time to join today. We're going to talk about how to monetize your stream. You want to start streaming? Obviously, money's on your mind. So there's not many incredible ways, but there are nuances that a lot of people forget. And I think something that people overlook is that when they start streaming, and you guys could relate too, is that everybody thinks that partner is the pinnacle to become. But you overlook affiliate. And affiliate grants you all of those abilities. So asking, just to start off with you guys, going towards your affiliate or partnership goals, did you think about that when you started? Did you have any kind of aspirations for either of those?
I'll let Arani go first.
Sorry, my Discord's cut out.
Like, did you have any goals for monetization? When you first started streaming, did you think, oh, I need to make partner to do this? Did you know about, becoming affiliate and accepting bits and donations? What was your initial goal when you started?
Mine, when I started, was probably more to supplement my actual business, so use it as a secondary tool, and then anything that came in from that was a bonus. But when I was setting mine up, I looked at like sort of sub perks and things to try and work out the monetizing thing that way, rather than just go, oh my god, I've got to go straight to partner. Because yeah, for me, it's sort of like I know it takes a minimum of about 3 years to get from affiliate to partner if you're working at it solely.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sort of kept it to the affiliate and went, okay. And then, as we all know, I had a few problems, and I'm hopefully going to get back into it soon.
Yeah, absolutely. But can you elaborate on when you meant sub perks? What exactly was that going to?
Before I did things like, so if you subscribed, you got I did a discount for the first order from sort of my shop, or I did cards for subscribers at 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. I make cards, and then a 1 month one to sort of say thank you for subscribing, and so it's the sort of different options you can take down that route. So there's some free options, there's some you might have to invest a little bit of money in, and then of course the Discord rank and all of that to go with it.
No, I absolutely agree. And that's one of the biggest pinnacles about becoming an affiliate is being able to take in those subscriptions. And a lot of people don't realize the importance of call to actions and giving somebody something for subscribing to your channel, and trying to push for that, because you can't always count on like gifted subs, because if somebody is gracious enough to gift other people subs in your channel, they might never sub again. It might just be for that 1 month. So you got to look at ways to get people to stick around. Flemma, do you have any kind of examples, like for your subs? What do you do specifically that makes them want to throw the $5 down every month?
I'll be honest with you. I don't have a lot of sub perks at the moment. And that's something I definitely need to work on myself. Like for example, when I'm actually thinking about subbing to someone else, I genuinely don't think about the perks. I usually sub to people because I like their content and I want to support their content. Like if I get rewards for doing so, that's amazing. Like, some awesome emotes. Like for example, I subbed to the Nixer yesterday. One, because I think he's a lovely, amazing bloke and I think his streams are amazing. But I will admit, the new emote that he's got is fucking hilarious. It's the one of his face from his Ring doorbell, and that did entice me a little bit. I really want that emote.
Yeah.
But for me, I definitely, in terms of my growth, I need to work on sub perks. But for me, I sub to people because I want to support them. Well, it's funny, by the way, you say call to action as well, because I don't do calls to action. However, I should know about that because my old job, I worked for Shopping TV and they were doing calls to action every 5 minutes. So I should know to do that because I've literally worked in that environment. I just never have thought about it when it comes to my stream. So it's interesting that you bring that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so personally, I need to work on that is something I'm working on. So even just like for me, my channel, I was just getting decent graphics. I'm getting some new mounts, which I'm really excited about because the talented lady to your left, or wherever she is doing some for me. So I'm still personally working on a lot of my perks for myself. I still feel like a bit of a noob, even though I've been doing it for a while.
There's always something to learn. Honestly, yeah, don't feel like a noob. I mean, I learn it every day, and so coming from YouTube to Twitch, there's so much to learn. You guys have been very helpful, but
as well, the content's the big factor. As like it should be the main driving factor, and everything else around it is sort of like bonus.
Yeah, but when you say content, do you mean like the actual media that you're presenting, or the way that you're presenting yourself, or both?
I think you, and sort of making sure that the content fits you, rather than sort of like you could say if you're mainly like Flemmer is a horror streamer and then she suddenly starts playing Apex, that's not what something her viewership would be used to. So it'd be like, okay.
Yeah, it would be if you saw me playing Apex. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. You have to build your audience, and those are the people that are going to stick around, come around for a couple streams, and then subscribe too. There's organic ways to grow with subscriptions, be it if you're bringing an audience in with your content, kind of like exactly what the Ronnie said. And if you like the person, like what Flemma said, there's two ways to mix it up. So you have the audience that comes, for example, horror streams, or the audience that comes around because you're extremely jolly. You put those two things together, you've got a recipe for success. And then call to actions, if you have that kind of thrown in there, now you've got seasoning on that amazing dish. So that's definitely three things to remember when you're streaming. Sometimes it's hard to become a variety streamer and grab one of those hooks, but you could rely on other outlets and variables.
I think as well, call to action is trying not to also be a sellout. Because there's too much call to action, then you just see people going sell out. It's like when you get the YouTube videos with a constant subscribe to my channel, click the bell.
This amount of percentage of people subscribed and this aren't, and then you're like,
yeah. You don't want to overdo it, and yeah, you're 100% correct. Definitely don't overdo it.
So
absolutely.
I find one of the ways that to do it is to put like a little graphic in the corner that sort of goes through sort of various things. So like, type Discord to join, or you like what you see, hit subscribe to the channel type thing.
Absolutely.
Do it more visually than selling out.
Subtle, isn't it? It's not in people's face. Then it's just something that they can notice and go, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'll do this or that. It's not. I think that's
absolutely. And if you're giving something back too, I feel like with the Ronnie, what you said of having sub perks, for example, if you're giving something to your audience, I think it shows more of an appreciation than just, some people call it e-begging. Please sub, please use that free Amazon Prime. But if you're going to give them something more or less like, hey, all subs, there's a giveaway this month for a game of your choice. We're creating a t-shirt. One of the subs get it, 3 subs get it. It shows appreciation. Yes. And I think that it's much better.
You could also do tiered levels. So when I come back to streaming, because I've been off for about 12 months, it'll be like every month we'll do a giveaway, and depending on how many subscribers you get that month will depend on the level of prize. So it could range from something like an emote all the way up to a fully animated thing for my business or something, as an example. Just like, but it depends. Like, you have to reach that level of subscriptions to do it. So it's sort of a bit of give and take of being a bit of a sleaze bag, but also feeding people.
But, there's balance there, isn't there? They're saying, okay, well, if I get more subs, I'll give a bigger reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's about balancing it out rather than going, give me 60 subs and I will give you nothing.
You're right. I mean, go ahead, Flemma.
Sorry. I just think, like, in general, I think it's really important for people who come, the amount of people I see that start streaming, who say it's like the first stream, and they'll have some graphics up and they're like, sub goal, donation goal, and you've just started. If you're in it for money, It's
You're in
not
the
going to
wrong
work.
business.
You're in the wrong business. You should do it because you enjoy doing it. And, you know, like I say, I sub to people because I enjoy their content, not because they're begging it. And I don't know, I'm not wording it the best way, but like if you're purely coming in stream and thinking, oh, I could make a lot of money doing this, it's not going to work unless you're like a big celebrity or something.
Or a pro gamer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have that clout behind you, you got to start off building a community. And Flem is 100% right. If you are showing that you're money hungry, or if you feel money hungry, this is a passion thing. It's strictly what people want to do. It's not what they have to do like a job. This is like a business. And people enjoy doing it. So I think if you're in it for the money, then yeah, you gotta take a look at what you're doing.
And you'll get into that cycle of, I have no viewers. I hate streaming. I'm a shit streamer. I have no viewers. I hate streaming.
100%.
I'm a shit viewer.
Oh.
And it just goes on and on and on and on. And
Vicious cycle.
Because it's because you're not growing, it's because you're not actually putting the work into growing. Streaming at the end of the day for money is a self-employed business, which requires you to have more time towards actually putting it into a business than actually streaming. The going live part's the easy part compared to everything else behind the scenes.
You should.
In the scheme of things, it's not saying it is easy to stream, but out of all of the stuff that you have to do, the easiest part would be hitting the go live and performing for 2-3 hours and then turning it off again. It's the work surrounding that you do to push that brand out there. That is the hard work.
Yeah, 100%. For me, like any money I make of streaming is just like, oh great, like that's amazing. Maybe I can put some of that money towards getting some more stuff for the stream. I've never gone, oh great, that's money for my house and bills. And so it's like, no, I've got a main job for that. Any money I get, I will either use that money and give it back to streamers, or I'll put it towards something more for my setup. You should never go into streaming thinking, oh, the money I'm going to make is a full-time job. Obviously, eventually, if you grow and expand to the point where you've got, you have grown big enough to go, okay, well, I could do this full-time now. But it should never be like, great, okay, I'm going to try and make enough money to pay my bills and stuff, because it's not going to work like that. That's not where that money should be going towards. Not unless you become a big streamer and then you're like, okay, then this is my full-time job. Obviously, if it's your full-time job, fair enough. You're going to use it to pay for your bills and stuff. But yeah, it should be it should always go towards improving your stream or even charity. I've seen lots of people give their money to charity, which is amazing as well.
Because didn't it work out roughly that you need around 200 subs a month just to survive?
Oh yeah,
on income alone. That's without bits, without donations, sponsorship.
To get, exactly 100%. To get like enough money to live off, you need a lot, like a lot. So it's just, that's not what the money you make should be going towards. So
absolutely, I think you're right. I mean, something that a lot of people think is that they could just jump right in and make it a job. I mean, you can. Don't ever feel like you're what's the word I'm looking for? Don't feel disheartened by what we're saying, because it's definitely something, when you start out, it should be a passion project, and you should be looking at it as a way to grow a brand, relate with your audience, show content you like to do. It's from your heart. But as you do grow, you could make a career out of it. I mean, there are definitely avenues, and if you put a lot of work into it, it's possible. It's possible. So looking at these ways to monetize, it's not something you have to jump right in and do every single thing right off the bat. Take it slow. And like Arani said too, don't be a sellout. Make sure that you're focusing on the brand and the content, and you're putting your passion into it, because your viewers will tell if you don't care and you're just in it for the money.
You're going to fuck it up.
Yeah, you will.
And no business starts and goes ahead exactly, like, from the business perspective. It's like nothing goes as what you plan, and it ends up as what it wanted. Like, it never follows that direct path.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're going to spend time going, okay, I don't like this about my brand, I don't like that about my brand, and change it up. So it's not a case of this is what it has to be, I have to make everything work around this. It can be, so yeah, just because you've decided that you want to play you want to be based around fantasy, you don't have to just play fantasy games, for example. You need to build your brand around what you want and you as a person, not, oh my god, this is what my audience love. But that's part of it. It's sort of like saying, if you want to play a different game, you then play a different game. Don't put yourself through hell because you're not enjoying it, but you think your audience is. Because if you're not enjoying it, your audience won't be.
Yeah,
100%.
100%. Yeah. Step. I think as well, just quickly, is that if you're not going towards the money, if you just go, okay, I'm streaming because I like playing games, I want to like chat with people and have a good, the money will probably come. Some money will come. If you go for the money, it won't come. Like that, I almost guarantee if you go, oh, sub to me, when you've got no viewers or whatever, it's not going to happen. But if you go,
Right.
okay, I'm not here for the money, that's fine. Some of it will probably come because, people are enjoying your content and you care about the community and you're having fun chatting with people, then yeah, people will support you. So you go the opposite way, it may, some money may come from it.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
It took me 2 years to get my first payout, and I've only had one.
Yeah,
So
it could take time. That's why you have to love it. You really do. I mean, that's going to be the message from the start. Is if you're not in it for the love of the game, don't get in the game. But it could work for you, and that's what we're here to talk about, the ways that it could. All right, so we talked about all of the perks and possibilities of subscriptions and what we could do to kind of entice people to stick around for your channel, eventually become a subscriber. But going into kind of call to actions, it's a little bit more difficult, I believe. Not so much for bits, but for donations. Donations are kind of the hot button, and those are, I think, from dedicated fans and from people who really believe in what you're doing. I think that, for example, if somebody watches some ads and they get bits, they don't mind throwing them at you. But if somebody is going to throw their hard-earned cash at you, that's a long game to play. What do you guys think in terms of kind of opportunities and ideas to help maybe your stream along the way to eventually look at harvesting more donations?
I think with donations, it's really important to, if you put a donation go on your screen, say what it's going towards. If you just put, usually you would anyway, most people say, oh, so a graphics card, or it's going towards charity, or just more stuff for your stream. If you say what it's for, people are more likely to then donate. I used to have a donation goal, and then I turned it off because I felt donations are difficult. I turned it off because I felt like it was I was asking for money, and so I turned it off because I was like, I don't want people to think that I'm just here for the money. But then it's a controversial one. But then if you do have one up there, people go, okay, well, this is why they want a donation, because it's going towards a new graphics card, they said, or VR, for example. It's, for me, I find it's a difficult one. Definitely do have one, like if you want to save up for something, but just be careful. Sometimes the amount as well can put me off. Personally, if someone's got a donation goal of like $1,000, €1,000, I'm like, oh, okay, that's asking for a lot of money. Whereas someone's like, oh, £100, sorry, $100, €100, for a new monitor or something, then I'm like, okay, that's a bit more feasible. I guess it depends on how big of a streamer you are as well. So I think, yeah, that's how donations work for me. I don't know. I think they can be a controversial thing, like having a donation bar up there, because, like I said, one, it shows you have goals, but on the other end, sometimes it can look like it just asking for money. I don't know. I find it quite a difficult one, but I guess that's why it's good to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that kind of does go into the call to action thing a little bit and what you can give back, because if you're asking for donations, for example, to, I'm going on a trip to, like, I'm doing a spring break thing, versus I'm getting new lighting for my stream, your fans are more likely to invest in something that produces better content and makes you into the better model that they want of you. So I would say if you're looking for donations, like I said, and we said before, is don't focus on the money for the streaming. Focus on ways to make your content better, to enjoy it more. That's what I think that you should do. Or if you're doing something for your community, for example, or charity. So if you're going to create, I'm going to, do something crazy like, well, don't do anything illegal, obviously. Like, don't go streaking. But, I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, if you're going to do like a David Blaine attempt at some sort of magic trick or something, I mean, give your audience something to look forward to. Don't just take the money and run.
I think as well, show that you're putting towards that goal as well.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not like, so say if you want a new set of, I don't know, key lights, for example, put aside $5 a week from your own savings if you can, and then just add that to the donation goal. Because if people can see that it's going up week by week as you put your own money into there as well and meet them halfway, they may be more inclined to help. It's a psychology thing rather than just saying, here's $1,000. I need to earn $1,000 for this, that, and the other. If you can say that I'm putting in $20 a week towards this as well of disposable income that I have from my main job, people may be inclined to see that, okay, they're not just being a money grabbing bastard and going, give me money, but they can see that you are trying, but they may need a little help along the way.
Absolutely.
Time frame as well, because like time frame is so important. Again, so like it's got to be realistic. So if you say, okay, I've got a $200 goal over like a week, people are going to be like, what? Like that's a lot of money to ask for in a certain amount of time. Whereas if you say, okay, I'm saving up $200 3 or 4 months, then because it kind of says then like how much you're asking from people. If you say, saving up $200 within a week, you're asking probably like, I don't know, it depends how many viewers you get, but you could say like $15, $20 per person, or maybe even more than that. But if you say over 3 or 4 months, you're saying, okay, well, maybe people could donate $2 or something like that. I feel like it makes people more enticed, or it would make me more enticed to then actually donate, because you're like, okay, well, they've given them a certain length of time to do it, so I can just give them a small bit and people could like add on to that.
Right.
And if you're doing for charity, some of the things that I've seen is one person that I used to watch a long time ago used to have, so your $5 will get a new ball for a dog at a dog shelter, or $10 will get them a new toy, so like show them what the different sort of like donations could buy to sort of try and like say, to try and help sort of push, like you don't need huge donations, because there's always that awkwardness when somebody comes in and drops like 20, 30, 40, possibly even hundreds of dollars in donations. You sort of sit there like, okay. But try go for the smaller ones if you're trying to do donations, rather than push, I need $1,000, your $5 could do this or something. A bit like those TV adverts of where your $5 could bring in a dog from the street. You know the ones that you get bombarded with at Christmas, the ASPCA and
Dogs Trust.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we've got like Sarah McLachlan's songs over here. Just feels bad watching them, but makes me like, if I'm eating and I see that commercial with the poor dogs out in the street, I'm like, I can't eat now. Thanks, Sarah McLachlan. Jesus. But I think, yeah, you're right. I think that every donation has to matter, and I've seen streamers do this, and first it baffles me and it disgusts me, but like, somebody will come in, give $1, give a couple bucks, and they'll kind of chastise them and make them like, what is this? This isn't worth my time. That's horrible. Every single donation is a gift. Yeah,
there was like that viral.
People really do that.
Yeah, so there was that viral streamer a while ago. I remember who it was, and she was like going, "You could, that $5 you spend on a Starbucks could be given to me," type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's cringe. It's cringe.
It's so cringe.
It's cringe. I mean, I will play devil's advocate in a way that I don't know if it was a marketing ploy by this person to like get their name out there, and almost like kind of just, even bad press is some press. It's press, but I think that in the grand scheme of things, you're just hurting your brand. So yeah, definitely don't ever be an e-bagger. look at ways that if you're going to get donations, appreciate every single penny, and don't just take the money and run. Give back to your community, because if you keep building that rapport with your community, like we said, you could potentially down the line turn it into a career, and continue that flow. But don't ever get into the greed mindset.
And with that, I think it's just finding the balance as well, because you'll also, if you give back to a degree, you'll also get those people that come in that are just looking for that day that you drop the 50 gift sub bomb on them type thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've seen that before, where somebody will drop 100 gift subs, and then all of a sudden everybody will be licking their arsehole in the hopes that it might happen to them in the future. And yes, I'm being blunt about it. I'm being blunt about it.
I want to hear it. We got to hear the bluntness.
Don't be a shit eater.
Yeah, don't be a shit eater. But you're right. You're 100% right. If you notice, yeah, and another thing too is if your community is important, just to kind of segue, your community and the networking that you have with your fellow streamers, don't ever allow yourself to get into a mindset of, well, this person's getting this, why am I not getting this? Be supportive, be happy for your fellow streamers, because they're going to be there for you too. Don't just come off like a rat who needs money, needs his cheese. Show that love, because everybody's trying to do what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone's
Absolutely.
trying to make it, and the harsh reality is probably around 2%, 3% of affiliates will make it. That is the harsh reality of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's subjective too, because I think a lot of people put their blinders on when it comes to success, because success is subjective. It really is. And I think that making it is subjective also, because if you're doing what makes you happy, well, surprise, you made it. You're happy. Time and happiness is, I think, the most important commodity in life. And if you're where you're at, if you're good, you're good. It'll only make it better because you're in that mood.
And setting manageable goals for yourself. So if you go in with this expectation of, I'm going to get 100 subs a month, no, not to start with. If you can say, I want 5 subs, and then you maybe go, I want 10 subs this month. You just build it up in small increments.
Yeah.
You're less likely to have a mental breakdown when you don't get that. So like having a sub goal, it doesn't even have to be like on there. You can just say, so this month I would be happy if I can keep 5 subscribers, and then maybe up to 10, and then 20, and then 30, and then consistently get 30, and then maybe go, okay, maybe we can try 40 this month.
Yeah.
Or 35. It's not a race to get there. It's a slow process.
Yeah, it's not a race if it's your passion. Absolutely not. It takes time. Before we get into bits, do you guys have any other thoughts? I'm obviously going to cut this part out, but any other thoughts on donations?
Don't feel bad if somebody reacts awkwardly to donations, because for some people, that is something they're not used to.
There you go.
That's a really good point, actually.
I've had donations before. Like I've had people drop 7 or 8 small donations, and it builds up. You just start feeling more. It's sort of like, okay, thank you.
Disbelief.
I don't know how to handle. Yeah, so if somebody's sort of like, they don't seem grateful, they genuinely probably are, but they're not sure how to handle it at that moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
that's it.
You see these videos of people breaking down when they get 100 gifted subs and things, but it's sometimes they just don't, and some people are just dead quiet and sort of like, okay, thank you, and then it's that awkwardness, because it also depends. You don't know what that person's background is like off the stream, because they may not share that with you.
Right.
So
it's very important.
If you go and drop like a huge donation, and someone sort of sat there like, with their first proper thought is, I can't accept this because I don't feel worthy of this. That's probably not them being ungrateful. That's just them trying to process what's going on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sorry, Hannah, go on.
And then once maybe they might DM that person later and say, oh my god, thank you, type thing, in private. So don't always take a sort of non-reaction as being a negative reaction, because you know that person will most of the time appreciate it. They just don't know how to react to the camera type thing. But that's me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true with anything. Like, even if I get 10 bits, I'm like over the fucking moon. I'm like, holy shit. you know,
Yeah.
like make sure, I think, yeah, Hirani's right in that. If you don't get a big reaction, don't get discouraged by it. But I think if you're someone who doesn't know how to react, so I think Hirani's right. Like maybe as long as you like say something after stream, because I get hella awkward, and I get like I don't know what to say sometimes, because sometimes it's really hard to like show your gratitude, and you're just like, I actually don't know what to say. Like, thank you so much, but like, yeah, I agree with what Iran
Fundamental
said.
British thing, that isn't it? We don't know how to react
We're
when
so
somebody
awkward.
gives you free money. Unless it's the tax man, we're sort of just like, thank you.
Oh, I'll take everything from the tax man.
Yeah, exactly.
My God, it's funny. Yeah.
Another thing as well, if you're with the monetization, taking into account taxes, because you will have to
make
tax
sure.
on your income.
Yes, the biggest thing when you start up an affiliate is to make sure all your ducks are in order and everything. Because, I mean, it comes down to be very meticulous with the information you input, because once you become an affiliate, you're going to have to put that in. And it's very important, because it all comes down to legality and potential auditing. So keep that in mind too. There is some responsibility, believe it or not, than just playing games. You have to actually put the work into establishing yourself on paper.
Especially if you're you're working with, like, say, the government who help fund you or something. You need to be ready to declare everything that you earn from Twitch, because it is classed as it isn't just disposable income. It's classed as earning a living income.
It counts to your annual salary, doesn't it? Yeah.
So if you're getting $100 every 6 to 12 months, it probably isn't much of a big issue. But if you're getting that payout every month, you need to be meticulous on where it's come from, where it's stored, where it's gone, and be ready to report that if.
Yeah, keep a paper trail, and something that a lot of people have done that I've talked to is have yourself a separate account. If you're you could have as many accounts as you need with most banking programs. So if you're getting income from Twitch via PayPal or direct deposit, put it into a special account, because right then and there, if an audit ever comes or you need to look it over for tax purposes and review it, it's all right there. Every single transaction. So, something to consider. I think Bits is relevant to exactly what we talked about. We call it, I mean, it's like Bud Light donations in terms of actual donations versus Budweiser, but extremely important, something to be appreciative of. But use the tactics that we talked about for donations, for Bits. Consider them relevant, consider them brother and sister. I don't really see too much of a difference there, because just people are still giving to you. They're still putting in the time and effort. If they're watching ads or buying bits, they're still supporting you. So every bit counts.
The soundboard you can get are really useful for helping generate passive bit income, because if somebody thinks that they can get a scare off on you, God forbid they're going to use it.
Yeah, and subscriber perks too. I mean, if you're using like Stream Elements, yes, right. If you're using Stream Elements and you include the store redemption of sounds, you can make them subscriber sounds, and boom, you got yourself another incentive. But with Bits, big time, man. You can use the Twitch extensions, sound alerts, stickers. So much good potential there.
The up and coming Elite extension.
Yeah, we're building an Elite extension.
So if we take a very quick break,
let's take a break.
2 minutes.
All right, so guys, I think after coming back from donations and Bits, something else to really consider is, of course, how important your brand is to business partnerships and what they could do for you, and affiliateships. And I think that a lot of people mix those two up. Affiliations and partnerships, they don't really understand the difference between, if you're going to be an affiliate, for example, I don't know, clothing company, Seosick, Razer, or anything, streamer. Somebody buys the product, you get a cut. They're using you as kind of a proxy, as a broker to purchase products, right? That's fine. That's all fair game, and you could make money off of it. But the real meat and potatoes is partnerships. And, obviously somebody's going to pay you to rep some brand on stream, be it clothing, be it actual equipment, etc., or pay you to play a game or something. So there's two differences there. I've experienced affiliations, and they can be fun, but these are the two things to look out for when you're building yourself. If what you guys said previously was, if you're going to be building your stream towards a specific audience and brand, for example, if you're streaming a lot of military sims or a lot of shooters, Black Rifle Coffee might sponsor you down the line. Specific military clothing brands might sponsor you down the line because you fit that bill. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about affiliations and partnerships?
Now I'm handing over to Arani
Okay,
because this is where
so-
my expertise goes.
First of all, we have an article on it on the Elite website. If you really do want to read, rather than it would be down below.
Not like an airline stewardess.
Yeah, the exits are this way. But I think as well, when it comes to us, I've had the 30 odd DMs on Twitter going, "We think your brand would be brilliant for our program. We will sponsor you." So one of the things that I've started doing is I write back to them and go, "What is it about my stream that makes it a good fit for your product?" And when you get the generic automated reply, that's when the warning lights should come on.
Yeah.
So there was a clothing brand, I think, can't remember what they were called, but it was. So I had a look at the product and it wasn't great. It wouldn't fit me anyway, especially as an artist. Why would I rep someone else's stuff unless I really sort of liked it? And they were like, so they messaged me and they was like, "Okay, so thank you for contacting me. What is it you want to know? What is it you liked about my content?" Because I thought if they've actually seen my content, they'd know that I'm an artist and that this is what I do. And they were like, "Oh, we love your input and your quality, your behavior." And it was very generic and very bullshitty. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pass it up because you haven't you haven't even looked at what I produce. And it turns out further down the line, it was an affiliate scheme. So for every 10 items, you got $10.
Yeah.
And the thing is they know that streamers will see that and go, "Oh my god, I've been picked by this brand," and usually it's just shit.
It's such good advice.
The other one so things like and I'm gonna probably get a lot of hate for this, but everyone that signs up to the G Fuel Razor Wire bullshit, it's like, "I'm being sponsored by G Fuel, I'm being sponsored by Razor Wire Energy," and I'm like, "But yeah, you and 30 million other people use my discount code to get this," and I'm like,
yeah,
why? It's you get nothing from it. Whereas if somebody like Elgato, because I've seen what the Elgato partnership is they'll write to you and say, "You rep our gear, we'll send you, give us a list of what you'd like / need, and as long as it's not too extravagant, but they only go for us. You need to meet a certain thing." So one such streamer I know has something like 450 scenes that he uses with his Stream Deck.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very niche. He's very niche. Yeah, and
Is it okay? Sorry,
yeah.
I'll tell you later.
So people like that. So you need to be looking. So just going, "I have all Razer gear, I'm amazing," for example, sponsor me is not going to work. You need to prove that you've got the ability to rep them.
Yeah.
So reputable companies will look at your content, look at your follow accounts, look at everything about you. And also another one is your social media. If you're on social media going, "X and X is a twat, X and X is this," going full political,
Don't
you are
do
not
that, though.
you're not gonna get
Don't do that.
these, keeping it's expressing things like political opinions is fine, but don't go down that rabbit hole because they'll look at that and go, "That's
you'll limit.
You a tinderbox, basically."
Yeah.
So, and one of the things as well when it comes to sponsorships and things is have a sort of either a graphic or what they call an influencer CV ready to go. So I have 1,000 followers on Twitter, 2,000 on Instagram, 3,000 on Twitch, because companies will look at these numbers and go, "Follow account." They don't look at it's playing with semantics and
it's a bigger billboard.
Yeah.
It's a bigger highway, and
So
that's
So networking is more likely to get you partnerships than just having great content.
oh yeah,
Mm.
that's extremely smart. And
So
yeah,
and if you're
no, go
applying,
ahead.
if you're applying, like make a graphic, so say have like a picture of you. I am this streamer. I stream these days a week. You know, if you want to do a setup list, but it's not required, but do like Instagram. You need to show your analytics basically to prove to these people that you're worth investing the time and money into.
Yeah, have your ducks in a row and show your worth. Absolutely, and that's very smart. If you have that organized, you're going to look much better to a potential partnership or business to market their product, because like what you said is a lot of people get excited about somebody reaching out to you and saying, hey, do you want to rep blah 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 for discount code? I'm going to tell you, you're not being sponsored, you're not being a partner, you're an affiliate.
You're being a what's the
You're
word?
being used
A patsy.
for your followers. You're being a patsy. They're making sales off of your viewership. That's it, plain and simply. And sponsorships do in a way too, but it's more of a partnership with, like, you look at NASCAR, you look at people who pay for your travel, your expenses, your cars, and they get their icon or their logo on your car. And same thing with this.
And if they're serious about repping with you, they'll give you a contract to sign.
They will.
Like,
yeah.
if it's just affiliate, sign up to our generic terms and conditions, you need to look at that and go, no. You need to read your contract, especially when it comes to... Because it's very easy to say, well, we'll give you 3 stream decks, 3 lights, and 3 things, but we'd expect you to do... You know, you would expect it to rep this in every stream. Whereas if you're smart, you'll go, I'll do 10 streams, we'll see what the feedback is and go from there. You need to create that dialogue working with companies rather than go, I will take any money you give me.
Yeah, know your worth. Absolutely. Don't just get so
100%.
excited, because people will take advantage of you, and especially if you're kind of green and you're making an impact, people will take advantage. It's all business. It's dollar is the bottom point, so, or the top point. So don't ever sell yourself short. You make sure you're getting the best kind of deal. And if a partner wants to work with you, they'll work with you. You know, get your contract up to where you want it.
I think as well, look at reaching out to sort of, if you know people local to your area are doing things that you like. Like so like local businesses, say if you've got the local nerd shop opened up, I'm going to say nerd shop in generic terms because 90% of us are nerds. So if they're selling, if they've just opened up and they want to promote their business and their new online business, you know, reach out to them and go, okay, I'm a streamer, I have this amount of viewers, but it may turn into 2 or 3 sales if I advertise you. Would you lend me some products that I can use to advertise? So if you say lend, they may give you them, but if you say lend as in like you'll give them back, they may be willing to open that. So using the right terminology as well.
Yes.
So if you said, so like you
Give
had
me
to
free
do the
stuff.
review. Yeah, so Matty, you had to do the review on the cables recently. If you said around, I don't know if they just gave you them or something, but if like you said, can I have a like one of your packages that I'll send back after 2 weeks, you know, to review them, it opens up that dialogue. Because if you're willing to return it, they're more inclined to say, oh, okay, this person's serious, rather than...
You seem genuine as well. Like you're not a freeloader. Like we've all seen Instagrammers, whatever you want to call them. I've seen lots of stories of not influencers, that's what I mean. Sorry, influencers that have gone to places and literally just said, "Give me free stuff," and you're like, "What?"
It's pathetic.
Do you not respect yourself? Like, be a genuine human being that cares and gives a shit. Like, I can't believe people do that. It's so entitled, and it's like, don't. Yeah, Arani's got that is just the best advice I've heard. Is just show that you care, but especially with small businesses, show you care, like you want to help them out. If they give you, you know, stuff and they're like, you can keep it, then amazing. But if not, then that's fine too. Because like, if you give what you get what you give, basically.
Or if you say, can I review your microphone, and then maybe give it away at the end because they can't take back used products to sell.
Yeah,
they may say, yeah, fine, but the stipulation is you have to do a giveaway, and it helps you get channel clout, and it helps somebody else who really needs that microphone.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's about finding the workaround to what 90% of people just sort of bulldoze their way through and go, give me free shit.
Yeah, have definitely a good business rapport. with people that you're willing to work with. You want to make sure it lines up with your brand, make sure that you're not being taken advantage of, and that you could form a relationship that could segue into a long-term partnership. And that then opens the doors for networking with their buddies, their corporate friends, and you could open a lot of avenues for yourself. But yeah, don't be a beggar. Definitely don't do that.
And this is stuff you can do at affiliate, whereas people seem to think
Mhm.
partners suddenly get all those instant deals where they don't, unless you're walking through TwitchCon, which is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
You know, you can do this at affiliate level. So even if it's just the local businesses round to start with, if you can build up that sort of portfolio of I've worked with these small businesses, I've promoted them, you know, it could be a friend starting a business, help them out. I'll advertise your business. If, you know, you give me 20 quid, £20, sorry, $20, and I'll advertise your business for the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's Brit
You know,
saying quid.
it's yeah, because to them that's nothing. $20 is like a single transaction, but they could have further reach for them.
Absolutely.
And in return, you could say, "Can you put my streamer card, like my business card, on your counter?" And so if people see that my streamer card's on a counter, I can take one, and maybe you'll get a couple of viewers out of it. It's sort of
Give and take.
creating pathways, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was wonderfully said. And before we get into merchandise, do you guys have any other final thoughts on partnerships?
This isn't really my expertise, but I must admit I've actually learned quite a lot from both you and Arani. So thank you for having me.
No, thank you guys.
I'm
I
learning
learned
a
so
lot.
much from you guys. Everybody
it
is
helps
learned a
because
lot.
then you've got the two, like I think me and Matty both have businesses, and then you're just like the non-business person, so it works as a
And
trio.
just me.
You're amazing.
Working for the man.
I think the final take is taking your brand and marketing yourself to then sell physicalities of it. So merchandise. Well, everybody does it, right? You can open up a store on Stream Elements, on Slobs. You can open up on Redbubble. Anything. Designs by humans. And start selling your merchandise. It's a very important aspect of advertising, marketing. And if people buy it, they're a walking billboard. But what do people want to buy? And something I do is, and I know Arani is able, you know, definitely does this, creating their own designs and not just throwing my logo up there on a hat or on a t-shirt. I do have that, you know, don't get me wrong, but I'll draw specific designs and put them on my merchandise because it's my little customary. It's like, it's my custom flavor to my overall brand, and people will relate that to me as well. So there's many avenues you could take with merchandise, many different websites you could use. Don't forget about that. And you could push it on different, you know, avenues. So what do you guys have in terms of experience with merch?
I'm gonna go first just because I have not
Yeah.
a lot to say in this avenue. I have the questions to throw to you guys. I don't have any merch, and the main reason for that is that I don't think I'm at that stage where I would start selling them because I'm just like, well, are people going to buy them? So my question to you guys is, which is firstly, like, again, I see so many really not the biggest channels, still quite small channels that have merch. And I'm just like, no offense, but you're really small. Like, who's buying your merch and stuff? And I'm curious to ask, I wouldn't ask, but I'm curious to see like how much you're actually selling. So question to you guys is, at what point, or is there a point where you should go, okay, this is the point where I could set up my own merch and start selling stuff?
I think that when you start out, it's not going to hurt you to have it up. You can't expect to make merch sales without notoriety, but having that availability for the small amount of fans you might have, I think having that door open is very important, because Joe or Mary might want to buy a hat and you have it available. They really like you. Great. Now they're walking around a restaurant and people are like, what the hell is that? And maybe they figure it out. You got yourself some in-person advertising. It can't hurt, but don't expect to make a lot of merch sales. And when you get up in the rankings, it's much easier, obviously. And I think another important aspect is, don't just, go into a merchandise shop and have one design. there's so many different types of customers out there. When I go and shop for clothing, I may love a brand, but I may only like 2 of their shirts at the time. Have many options too. So, like I said, if you're going to draw your own thing or create your own artwork, it's so important if you have that avenue available. If you have that option.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of again with these smaller channels where they have got merch and it's say, for example, their logo, and
Mhm.
it's just that same logo on tons of stuff, and you're like, great, but is there another option? So a good example is the one and only Creepy Nanas, he's got a couple of designs, so it's not just like it's his logo, but it's like their variation of his logo and stuff. So like
The banana with the
he's got
arse.
more, yeah, like he's got like they're all really rude and like I want to buy them, but I'm like, what if I can't wear this in front of family? But yeah, so like he's got different options, and I like that because I go so many people's merch where they've just got their logo or just one design, and you're like, great, like,
Mhm.
oh, I could get that one design and a cup or a hat, but like give me maybe something else. I guess also it depends on how big your channel is, because if you are a small channel, maybe you can't afford to then make loads of designs. So I understand that too. I'll let
I think
everyone speak.
a
Sorry.
lot of the problem with the merchandising is it comes down to marketing. So they'll set this shop up and that's it. You don't hear anything about
Mm.
it. Whereas even if like you post what you think would be the popular items like caps. I mean, we all saw what happened recently with the Elite cap. There was like a fight over the Elite cap, but like we've got
Yeah.
like the Elite. You've got hoodies, t-shirts, shirts. Oh, remember we had the contest and the prize was the cap. There were people
Yeah.
going
Mhm.
mental for that cap.
Oh, I must have missed that.
So I think having your logo, you can't go wrong. But I think
Yeah.
with the design process, you sort of need to look at what you could make that could be different. So there's badges, stickers, coasters, mouse mats, as well as the apparel range.
Mats.
Mugs are a huge seller.
Mugs.
I love a good mug.
Postcards, um, and depending on what you do, you can make things like plushies or dice or
Creepy Nana's plushie.
yeah,
I
creepy
would
Nana's
buy
plushie.
that
Yeah,
if he's
for
watching some point later.
so like
I would
Yeah.
buy that.
and then it's also utilizing sort of limited edition runs as well. So if you've got the Christmas shirt or I'm playing
Yeah.
God of War, so we've got God of War themed shirts, but you need to market those products. Like you need to have a tweet every 3 or 4 days saying
Reminding
for
people.
limited
Yeah.
time only because
Yeah.
your stream isn't going to sell your gear. Social media is going to sell your gear. And when you're designing as well, either if it's on the back, like at the top, like if you buy like gaming shirts, you'll notice they have the game logo, like the game company logo on the back.
On the back, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily in plain sight, or down the bottom at the bottom of the picture designed by, of your Twitch link or something. You need to have that advertising on there because people are going to see that and go, "Oh, I like that shirt of I don't know."
But where do I get it?
Yeah, where
What's
do
it
I get
for?
it?
What's it
And
about?
then on top of that, if you can't design it yourself, you need to find a designer like
Mhm.
to do it, and you need to talk to them because it could be because one of the things that I've had several conversations with is people buy these designs and then expect to be able to just market them on everything when they come with terms and conditions.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
I was warned about this.
people will buy emotes and then try and put them onto merchandise and wonder why they get cease and desist orders from their
Yeah.
designers because they haven't bought the licensing rights to market
Mhm.
them. Because one of the misconceptions is that just because you commission a piece of artwork, it is not yours. It still belongs to that artist unless you purchase the rights for
Right.
it.
Commercial rights.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fiverr.
100%
And
correct.
and if you're working with designers on a long-term basis, then there's several models that you need to look at as well. So you could pay for each individual design with rights, or you could do a commission-based sort of marketing thing. So if you sell 20 t-shirts and at $20 each, they will take 20% of that as a commission. But you need to work out how many you want to shift in that time frame and what your sales are to work out
Right.
actual pricing. That's
Yeah.
just
You get-
me from a business point of view.
It's so smart. So many people don't realize that they have to invest in the commercial rights. That the transaction is not done
I didn't know
at
that
the.
at
And-
first.
Yeah.
I was warned.
Well,
With
yeah, and
Fiverr,
it's
for example.
Yeah, and also you are eligible for DMCA strikes if you're using it in the wrong manner.
Yeah.
it doesn't just apply to music. If you're using artwork as well from an artist who hasn't
Right.
given you rights to use it outside of what it was commissioned for, you can be struck for DMCA.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought I should put that
Yeah.
out there.
So make sure you get all the rights available to you. I mean, it may be pricey, but you want to
worth
cover
it.
your ass.
A lot of
Yeah.
so they'll either have a set price or they'll do it for say 50% of the commission cost,
Mm-hmm.
roughly 50 to 75, or some people will charge 100% depending on, and some people will include that in their pricing as well when they're designing. So if you want a t-shirt graphic, it may cost you $80, but their merchandising right may be in there to put it
Mhm.
onto merchandise. So it's worth just checking if you go down the custom design route what the rights are.
Absolutely.
Because when I first started it for graphics, I wanted to go to Rani at first, and then I knew she was really busy, so I was like, okay, I'll see if there's another way. And then so I was like, oh, okay, I'll go on Fiverr. But I think it was, again, I keep bringing up Creepy, but he warned me, and he was like, if you do that, it was the whole rights thing. It's like you won't have the rights, which is fine if you just want to use them on stream. But then, if you they want to go to make merchandise, it will hit you long time down the road, and that's why it's like, okay, I'm going to go to Rani.
It does. It
I have
depends
the
on the
same
artist.
for most people, like most
Yeah.
people. So if it's for friends and things, I will turn around and say, fine, fair enough. But
Yeah.
for the generic client, you will have to pay for merchandise rights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Mm.
found it was easy in
Sometimes-
the end to go with someone I trust. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah. You need to find someone you trust. Like, I am the biggest person who hates Fiverr because it gives, like, as an artist, you see these people
Yeah, I
that sell
can see
things for
that.
$5, and you're like,
Oh yeah. It dilutes it.
it's
no,
insulting, is it not?
no, yeah, it's insulting because
You put a lot of hard work into
it's
what you
it's
do.
also a wage. So a
That's
good
true, yeah.
artist, like if you're for designers, you need a designer that will have a reasonable price, but you can work out that they're charging so much to get them by an hour, because in most countries by law you have to have a minimum wage per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you need to respect that person must earn the minimum wage for their country at least. Just
Yeah.
before I go off on a rant.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Another thing too is read everything that if you're buying a service on Fiverr too. Some artists do allow you full ownership upon completion. These are usually professional artists, not like the turnaround that steal art
You spend
and
a lot
pop it
of
in there
money.
for $10. Yeah, not toss it in there for $10 on Fiverr. Those people will screw you over. But if you're looking at like, really big name, tons of reviews, doing really well, and you pay for what you get for, usually in their clauses, and that's what I worked out with kind of one of mine, was that you get complete rights to the actual design. So look out for that. Count your make sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's, and read everything you're purchasing.
Fiverr, if they don't have it in the clause, there is usually an option to purchase them as an additional fee.
Yes, absolutely.
So if that's not clearly stated, then there
Very
should be an
fair.
option. I think it's about $35.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can
Yeah.
set the price, but yeah, the average is $35 for a full redo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And,
definitely
and,
best in that.
and if you purchase designs from shops and things as well for merchandise, look at what you can do with them. And
Mhm.
reverse image search is also your friend.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, Ronnie. That's so smart.
I
So,
didn't even
guys,
think
if you're
about that,
getting
yeah.
if you're getting material from an artist, and they're maybe not reputable, and you're kind of just trusting your gut, definitely do that. Look over the image, reverse image search it, see if they stole it. Because if they stole it and they sell you the rights, it doesn't matter. You got ripped off, and you're still up for DMCA. 100%.
Since that's a hot topic at the minute, it doesn't just apply to music.
Right? Digital media. Don't think of DMCA as music. It's digital media.
Mhm.
So anything like that. Over the airwaves, baby. Anything.
And reputable designers will probably ask for either an upfront fee or they'll give you line art sketches and then ask you to pay before they
Yeah.
finish. So don't
Mhm.
go for that. If somebody demands payment upfront before they do any of the work, that's your warning sign of, yeah, no.
I'll tell you a funny story. So this is kind of super relevant, but so I read an article on kind of when I was looking at the DMCA stuff that there's a wrestler who has tattoos and he's in a
Oh,
video game.
yeah.
And the tattoo artist actually, I think, sued them or went after them because of their artwork being in the game that was on their body.
Oh, in the video game, you mean?
Right, right. And this wrestler obviously they had the tattoo of the artist. The artist, went after it. So there's so many like weird nuances with this shit that you have to just be careful of.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That's okay, Flemma. I don't mind them.
It's fine.
I think
They had us talking about DMCA, and they're like, oh,
they're coming.
let's check it out.
It just sounded a police.
They're coming. I think that's it. Honestly, do you guys have any other talking points or advice for our viewers?
The merch
with anything we
thing.
talked about?
Make sure, look at where your audience is as well, and pick relevant to where, because Stream Elements will charge you a fortune and customs to send it international. I've heard horror stories of people getting merch and being charged custom fees. So look at maybe set up 1 or 2 stores depending on if you've got a European audience and an American audience.
Oh yeah.
Or if you're in Asia, focus on the Asian market.
Big brain,
So
absolutely.
focus on yes, it's easy to say it's easy to upload your designs to 3 stores and you've got more chance of a bigger income coming in from, but also look at the profits that you'll get from things as well.
Yeah.
Because you can
100%.
sell a shirt for $30 and only get $5 of that back. At which point you're like, what?
Yeah.
Because even the slightly more expensive approach is to take your designs down to a local printing company, support your local business, especially in Corona.
And
And they'll
send them out
probably
yourself.
also do it cheaper and then send it out yourself, because
Yeah.
you may spend $10 on postage for a t-shirt, but you sold that t-shirt for $30. You still
Yeah, so you get a
made
bigger cut, just more
profit.
work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
even
if you-
because they'll even might be able to strike up where they'll post it out for you, include it in the price. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
there's
That's
not
very
just
smart.
it's very easy to go with these people that say we'll sell it and give you profit and do all the hard work, but sometimes you may just have to do the legwork to find it,
Oh yeah.
especially if
Yeah.
you want to open your own store further down the line.
Agree. Yeah, make sure you're studying, looking at all the potential you have to, make more off of what you're doing. It might take more work, but in the long run, you're investing in that, so you'd be happier.
And again, the separate account thing for your income from your shop, have it sent
Yeah.
to your Twitch account,
Oh yeah.
because it's very easy to say, I've made $150 on a t-shirt sales. I'm going to go and buy that new game. Oh shit, I owe 30% of that in taxes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keep all that for record. It's
And-
really easy.
If you're monetizing as well, look at what your personal allowances are in
Mhm.
relation to taxes, because I know in the UK, I think it's 8 or 12,000 you're entitled to. But then you've also
Yeah.
got to
But
take
before
into
tax,
account. Yeah, and then you've got to take
I think
into
it's
account.
18.
Yeah, it changes year on year, so nobody
Yeah, they
actually
change.
knows anymore. And then you've also got to pay your national insurance if you go full-time self-employed, which is based on,
Yeah.
So it's a bit like your social security, I think, in America.
Right.
So
Yeah, you're putting that much into it. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like it.
because there's
Wow,
also
guys.
implications as if you're working full-time job and you may have to fill in 2 tax returns.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, you'll get your if I know in the States you'd get your form from any of your income sources, you'd file it, but it could be tiresome if you're not keeping record of everything in its own special place. Then don't get into the limelight of Uncle Sam, the IRS, or any other foreign body which resembles that. Keep your ducks in order.
And if you're serious
must
about
say.
turning it into a business, maybe look out local business enterprises that can help you with one-to-ones,
Yeah.
because I mean it still comes under being a business at the end of the day, so they may be able to help you work out the best way to do taxes, the best way to do accounting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and write-offs too. I mean, you could save so much money if you're claiming what you're using for your business.
So my
Yeah,
chair was a
chair.
grant. I got a grant for my business and I bought a new chair with it, so I paid for it and got it reimbursed.
100% correct.
Nice.
Take advantage of that. Absolutely take advantage
And
of
these
that. I
people
mean,
will be able to help you with finding grants and whatnot.
mm-hmm. Yes, so
my
many.
own chair
This,
was broken.
So many options for that. I love it. Cool. Guys, I think we rocked it today.
Yeah.
This is a better podcast than the first one. I loved it. It has been
I didn't
fantastic.
cry this time.
I did. No, I'm just kidding.
I just look like a beetroot at this point.
But big thank you, obviously, to Ronnie and Flemma for taking the time to jump on here and talk
Thank
about
you.
monetization for your stream and your content. It's
What's the
been
next one?
wonderfully informative. And anybody who's watching now, you can expect these podcasts to be uploaded to YouTube within usually about 2 weeks of each other. We're working on getting an Anchor feed set up so we can get the podcast on Spotify and Apple, and that'll be fun.
The next one's gonna be fun.
Yes, the next one we're doing Duels to the Death in person.
I thought we were doing VFX.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that too. But that's
That's
whoever
bonus.
lives gets to talk about it.